Freezing -15 degrees Celsius. Abandoned mother dog and 4 puppies cry for help. Then this happens. The Alaskan wilderness stretched out like an endless canvas of white, the snow-laden pines standing sentinel against the unforgiving horizon. The wind howled like a tormented spirit, whipping the snow into a blinding frenzy, its icy breath chilling the very air. In the midst of this frozen wasteland, Luna, a husky mix with fur the color of twilight, huddled beneath a skeletal spruce tree, her body a shield against the biting wind. Her 4 newborn puppies nestled against her for warmth. Abandoned and alone, Luna's heart pounded with a primal fear that echoed the howling wind. The familiar scent of her human, the warmth of the cozy barn, the comforting routine of her life on the small farm, all were distant memories now, replaced by the harsh reality of survival in this unforgiving wilderness. She had been dumped here, at the edge of a frozen lake, miles from any sign of civilization, her leash cut, her collar discarded, her trust betrayed. The humans she had loved, the humans she had served with unwavering loyalty, had cast her aside, leaving her to fend for herself and her vulnerable pups in this frozen wasteland. Her mind reeled with confusion and fear, but her maternal instincts surged to the forefront, overriding her own despair. She had to protect her puppies, these fragile lives that depended on her for survival. She nudged them closer, her body a trembling barrier against the biting wind, her warmth their only solace in this frozen world. The snow continued to fall, its relentless descent threatening to bury them alive. Luna, her energy waning, her body shivering uncontrollably, knew she had to find shelter, a haven from the elements, a place where she could protect her pups from the unforgiving cold. She rose to her paws, her legs stiff and aching, her muscles protesting with every movement. She nudged her puppies, encouraging them to follow, their tiny paws sinking into the deep snow, their whimpers a heartbreaking symphony in the vast emptiness. She stumbled through the snowdrifts, her senses heightened, her nose twitching, seeking any sign of refuge. The wind howled in her ears, the snow stung her eyes, but she pressed on, driven by a mother's unwavering determination. The landscape was a stark canvas of white, the only contrast the dark silhouettes of the windswept trees against the gray sky. The only sound was the mournful wail of the wind, a constant reminder of their isolation, their vulnerability. Luna, her strength fading, her hope dwindling, lowered her head, her breath forming a cloud of frost in the frigid air. She looked at her puppies, their eyes filled with trust, their tiny bodies huddled against her for warmth. She couldn't fail them. She had to find a way to survive, to protect them, to offer them a chance at life. With a renewed surge of determination, she lifted her head and pressed on, her footsteps leaving a trail in the pristine snow, a testament to her unwavering spirit, her motherly love a beacon in the face of despair. The Alaskan wilderness stretched endlessly before Luna, a vast expanse of snow-covered forests, frozen lakes, and towering mountains. The sun, a pale disk in the gray sky, offered little warmth, its weak rays barely penetrating the thick blanket of snow. Luna, her paws sinking into the powdery snow with each step, trudged onward, her breath forming icy plumes in the frigid air. Her body ached with exhaustion, her stomach growled with hunger, but she pressed on, driven by the primal instinct to protect her vulnerable offspring. The puppies, their tiny bodies barely able to withstand the harsh conditions, whimpered and shivered, their cries a constant reminder of their fragility. Luna nudged them forward, her body a shield against the biting wind, her warmth their only solace in this frozen wasteland. She searched desperately for shelter, her eyes scanning the desolate landscape for any sign of refuge. A cave, a hollow log, even a dense thicket of trees. Anything that could offer protection from the elements. But the landscape remained unforgiving, a vast expanse of white broken only by the occasional windswept tree or frozen stream. Luna's heart sank with each passing hour, the weight of responsibility pressing heavily on her weary shoulders. Hunger gnawed at her stomach, a constant reminder of her own dwindling strength. She had not eaten in days, her body depleted from the ordeal of birth and the relentless struggle for survival. She knew she needed sustenance, not just for herself, but for her puppies, who depended on her milk for nourishment. She scavenged for anything edible, her nose leading her to frozen berries buried beneath the snow. The occasional carcass of a small animal succumbed to the cold, even the bark of trees, a desperate measure to stave off starvation. But it was never enough. Her body ached with hunger, her milk supply dwindling, her puppies growing weaker with each passing day. She felt a growing sense of despair, the fear for her puppies' survival eclipsing her own. Yet she refused to give up. She would fight for them, for their right to live, for their chance at a future. She would endure the cold, the hunger, the exhaustion, for as long as she had to. She was their mother, their protector, their only hope in this unforgiving world. As the sun began its descent, casting long shadows across the snow-covered landscape, Luna stumbled upon a frozen stream. She cautiously approached the icy surface, her senses alert for any signs of danger. She sniffed the air, detecting the faint scent of fish beneath the ice, a tantalizing promise of sustenance. With a surge of desperation, she began to paw at the ice, her claws scraping against the frozen surface. The ice was thick, resistant to her efforts, but she persisted, her determination fueled by the hunger pangs gnawing at her stomach. Finally, with a cracking sound, the ice gave way, revealing a small opening. Luna lapped at the icy water, her tongue numb with cold, but the taste of fish, the promise of nourishment, spurred her on. She caught a small fish, its silvery scales glinting in the fading light. She devoured it quickly, savoring the taste, the energy it provided coursing through her weary body. She caught another and another, her hunger slowly subsiding, her strength gradually returning. She returned to her puppies, their whimpers growing weaker, their bodies shivering uncontrollably. She nudged them closer, offering them her warmth, her milk, the sustenance she had so desperately sought. As the darkness enveloped them, and the temperature plummeted further, Luna curled around her puppies, her body a shield against the biting cold. She licked them clean, her warm tongue a comforting touch, her maternal instincts overriding her own exhaustion and hunger. She knew that the night would be long, the cold unforgiving, but she also knew that she would not give up, that she would fight for her puppies, for their survival, for their chance at a life beyond this frozen wasteland. The first rays of dawn painted the snow-covered peaks with a rosy hue, casting long shadows across the frozen landscape. Mark, his breath frosting in the frigid air, emerged from his tent, his camera bag slung over his shoulder, his eyes scanning the vast expanse of wilderness. A seasoned wildlife photographer, Mark had ventured into the remote corners of Alaska, seeking to capture the raw beauty of its untamed landscapes and the elusive creatures that roamed its icy domain. His lens had captured the majestic flight of bald eagles, the playful antics of Arctic foxes, and the awe-inspiring presence of grizzly bears. But on this particular morning, his attention was drawn to a sight that stirred a different kind of emotion within him. A dog, its fur matted with ice, its body shivering uncontrollably, lay curled beneath a spruce tree, a litter of puppies huddled against her for warmth. Mark's heart ached at the sight of their vulnerability, their struggle for survival in this unforgiving environment. He recognized the dog as a husky mix, a breed known for its resilience and loyalty, but even the hardiest of creatures could succumb to the harsh realities of the Alaskan winter. He approached cautiously, his camera forgotten, his instincts replaced by a surge of compassion. He knelt beside the dog, his voice soft and reassuring. "Hey there, girl," he said, his words carried on the crisp air. "You look cold. Are you all right?" The dog, her eyes filled with a mixture of fear and exhaustion, watched him warily, her body tense, her tail tucked between her legs. Mark, sensing her apprehension, maintained a safe distance, his movements slow and deliberate. He reached into his backpack, pulling out a protein bar, a meager offering but a gesture of goodwill. He tossed it towards the dog, his voice gentle and encouraging. "Here you go, girl," he said. "Eat up. You need your strength." The dog, her hunger overriding her fear, cautiously approached the bar. She sniffed it tentatively, her nose twitching, her senses confirming its edibility. She devoured it quickly, her tail wagging slightly in gratitude. Mark, encouraged by her response, reached for another bar, his heart warming at the sight of her regaining some strength. He tossed it closer, his voice soft and reassuring. "That's a good girl," he said. "You're going to be okay." The dog, her trust tentatively growing, accepted the offering, her tail wagging more confidently now. Mark, his compassion deepening, noticed the puppies nestled against her, their tiny bodies shivering, their whimpers barely audible above the wind. He knew he couldn't leave them to fend for themselves in this harsh environment. He had to help, to offer them shelter, warmth, a chance at survival. He reached out a gloved hand, his touch gentle as he stroked the dog's fur. "Come on, girl," he said, his voice filled with kindness. "Let's get you and your pups out of the cold." The dog, her instincts telling her that this human meant no harm, rose to her paws, her movements stiff and hesitant. She nudged her puppies, encouraging them to follow, their tiny paws sinking into the snow, their whimpers a symphony of vulnerability. Mark, his heart filled with a newfound purpose, led the way towards his campsite, his footsteps leaving a trail in the snow, a beacon of hope in the vast wilderness. Mark's campsite, a haven of warmth and relative comfort amidst the vast wilderness, offered a stark contrast to the unforgiving landscape Luna and her pups had endured. The tent, a sturdy dome of nylon and mesh, stood proudly against the backdrop of snow-covered pines, its interior a beacon of warmth and shelter. Mark ushered Luna and her puppies inside, his movements gentle and reassuring. He spread a thick blanket on the tent floor, creating a soft bed for the weary family. He retrieved a thermos of hot tea from his backpack, pouring a small amount into a metal bowl for Luna, the steam rising like a promise of warmth and comfort. Luna, her body trembling with exhaustion and cold, lapped at the warm liquid, her eyes never leaving Mark's face. She watched as he fussed over her puppies, his touch gentle as he wrapped them in a soft fleece blanket, his voice soothing as he murmured words of comfort. Her initial wariness gradually melted away, replaced by a cautious trust. She had encountered humans before, during her brief life on the farm, but none had ever shown her such kindness, such genuine concern for her well-being. Mark, his heart touched by their vulnerability, his photographer's eye capturing the raw beauty of their resilience, settled beside them, his presence a silent guardian against the harsh realities of the wilderness. He watched as the puppies suckled eagerly, their tiny bodies gaining strength with each gulp of their mother's milk. He marveled at Luna's maternal instincts, her unwavering dedication to her offspring, her love a beacon of warmth in the face of adversity. He shared his meager supplies with them, offering them dried meat and biscuits, his own hunger pangs momentarily forgotten in the face of their greater need. He refilled Luna's water bowl with fresh snow, watching as she lapped it up gratefully, her tail wagging softly in appreciation. As the day progressed, and the sun cast long shadows across the snow-covered landscape, Mark's thoughts turned to the future. He knew that his campsite, though a temporary haven, was not a sustainable solution for Luna and her pups. They needed more than he could offer, more than his limited supplies and temporary shelter. He reached for his satellite phone, a lifeline to the outside world, a beacon of hope in this remote corner of the wilderness. He dialed the number of the nearest animal rescue organization, his voice crackling through the static, his words carrying a plea for help, a desperate request for assistance. The operator, her voice warm and reassuring, listened intently to Mark's story. She was touched by his compassion, his willingness to go above and beyond to help these abandoned creatures. She assured him that they would send a rescue team as soon as possible, their expertise and resources offering a lifeline to Luna and her pups. Mark, his heart filled with gratitude, relayed the news to Luna, his voice gentle and reassuring. "Help is coming, girl. he said, stroking her fur. "You and your pups will be safe soon." Luna, her understanding transcending language, nuzzled his hand, her eyes filled with a trust that had blossomed in the warmth of his kindness. She had found a protector, a beacon of hope in the vast wilderness, a human who had opened his heart to her and her vulnerable offspring. The wait for the rescue team stretched into days, each one a blend of anticipation and a growing sense of connection between Mark and the canine family he had taken under his wing. The confines of the tent, once a solitary haven for Mark, now buzzed with a gentle warmth, the soft whimpers of the puppies and Luna's quiet presence filling the space with a comforting symphony of life. Mark, his photographer's eye now focused on the intimate details of survival and maternal devotion, documented their every move. He captured Luna's tireless efforts to nurse her pups, her body a source of warmth and nourishment, her love a fierce protector against the harsh elements. He photographed the puppies as they grew, their eyes opening to reveal curious gazes, their tiny paws tentatively exploring their temporary home, their playful tumbles a testament to the resilience of life. He found himself drawn into their world, his solitary existence momentarily forgotten in the face of their shared struggle for survival. He would spend hours simply observing them, marveling at the intricate dance of life unfolding before him. He would talk to them, his voice a gentle rumble in the quiet confines of the tent, sharing stories of his adventures, his encounters with the wild, his own reflections on the beauty and fragility of life. Luna, her initial wariness replaced by a growing trust, would often rest her head on his lap as he sat beside them, her eyes filled with a gentle gratitude. She seemed to understand his kindness, his unwavering dedication to their well-being, his presence a source of comfort and security in this unfamiliar world. The puppies, their personalities emerging with each passing day, responded to his presence with playful nips and joyful yelps. They would crawl onto his lap, their tiny paws kneading his legs, their soft fur brushing against his skin, their innocent affection a balm to his solitary soul. Mark, his heart touched by their unconditional love, found himself questioning his own nomadic lifestyle. He had always cherished his freedom, his ability to roam the world, capturing its beauty through his lens. But the presence of Luna and her pups had awakened a dormant part of him, a yearning for connection, for the warmth of companionship, for the responsibility of caring for another living being. He found himself looking forward to their daily routines, the shared meals, the quiet moments of observation, the playful interactions that filled his days with a newfound joy. He realized that these abandoned creatures, these unexpected companions, had brought a sense of purpose to his solitary existence, a reminder of the beauty and resilience of life in the face of adversity. As the days turned into weeks and the rescue team remained elusive, Mark's bond with Luna and her pups deepened. He knew that their time together was limited, that the rescue would eventually arrive, that their paths would diverge. But in those shared moments, in the warmth of their connection, he found a solace he had never known before, a love that transcended the boundaries of species, a bond that would forever alter the course of his life. The vastness of the Alaskan wilderness stretched out before Mark, a stark reminder of his isolation. The towering peaks, cloaked in snow, pierced the sky, their icy grandeur a testament to the raw power of nature. The frozen lakes, their surfaces shimmering like mirrors, reflected the pale winter sun, their stillness a stark contrast to the turbulent emotions stirring within him. Mark, his camera now a silent observer, his photographer's eye replaced by a worried gaze, paced restlessly outside his tent. The rescue team, their arrival eagerly anticipated, had yet to materialize, their absence a growing concern in the face of the harsh realities of the wilderness. He had rationed his supplies, sharing his dwindling food with Luna and her pups, their survival now his primary focus. He had melted snow for water, his hands chapped and raw from the constant exposure to the elements. He had reinforced the tent, securing it against the biting wind, his efforts a desperate attempt to create a haven of warmth and safety for his unexpected family. But the challenges mounted with each passing day. The temperature plummeted further, the wind howled with a renewed ferocity, and the snow continued its relentless descent, threatening to bury them alive. Luna, her once vibrant fur now matted and dull, shivered uncontrollably, her body weakened by the lack of proper nourishment, her spirit tested by the relentless struggle for survival. The puppies, their tiny bodies vulnerable to the cold, whimpered and huddled together, their cries a constant reminder of their fragility. Mark, his heart aching for their suffering, held them close, his body a shield against the biting wind, his warmth their only solace in this frozen world. He knew he had to act, to reach out for help, to summon the resources that could ensure their survival. He retrieved his satellite phone, its small screen a beacon of hope in the vast emptiness. He dialed the number of the animal rescue organization, his fingers numb with cold, his voice trembling with a mix of desperation and determination. The operator, her voice a lifeline through the static, listened intently as Mark relayed the urgency of their situation. She assured him that the rescue team was on its way, their progress hampered by the treacherous weather conditions, their determination fueled by his desperate plea. Mark, his heart filled with a mix of relief and apprehension, relayed the news to Luna, his voice gentle and reassuring. "Help is coming, girl," he said, stroking her fur. "You and your pups will be safe soon." Luna, her understanding transcending language, nuzzled his hand, her eyes filled with a trust that had blossomed in the warmth of his kindness. She had found a protector, a beacon of hope in the vast wilderness, a human who had opened his heart to her and her vulnerable offspring. The wait continued, each hour an eternity, each gust of wind a chilling reminder of their precarious existence. But the knowledge that help was coming, that their struggle would soon be over, fueled their resilience, their shared determination to survive, their bond a testament to the enduring power of hope in the face of adversity. The whirring of helicopter blades sliced through the silence of the frozen wasteland, a mechanical symphony that heralded the arrival of hope. Mark, his heart pounding with a mix of relief and apprehension, emerged from the tent, his gaze fixed on the approaching aircraft, its red and white exterior a beacon of salvation against the stark white canvas of the Alaskan sky. The helicopter, its powerful engine battling the gusts of wind, landed gracefully in a clearing near the campsite. The rescue team, bundled in thick parkas and snow boots, emerged, their faces etched with determination, their movements swift and efficient. Dr. Emily Stevens, a veterinarian with a heart as warm as her fur-lined parka, led the team. Her eyes, though shielded by goggles, sparkled with a compassionate light, her voice carrying a calm authority as she approached Mark. "You must be Mark," she said, her voice a welcome sound amidst the howling wind. "We received your call. We're here to help." Mark, his face weathered by the harsh elements, his voice hoarse from the cold, nodded gratefully. "Thank you," he rasped, his words barely audible above the wind. "They need your help." He led them to the tent, his heart heavy with a mix of gratitude and a newfound reluctance to part with the canine family he had come to cherish. He watched as Dr. Stevens and her team carefully examined Luna and her pups, their expert hands assessing their condition, their voices a soothing balm in the tense atmosphere. Luna, her initial wariness returning at the sight of strangers, instinctively shielded her pups, her body a protective barrier. But Dr. Stevens, her movements gentle and reassuring, her voice soft and calming, slowly gained Luna's trust. She examined the puppies, their tiny bodies shivering with cold, their whimpers a testament to their weakened state. She noted their dehydration, their malnutrition, their vulnerability to the harsh elements. She then turned her attention to Luna, her practiced eye assessing the dog's condition. She noted the exhaustion etched on her face, the dullness of her fur, the signs of a mother who had pushed herself to the brink to protect her offspring. "They're weak, but they're fighters," Dr. Stevens announced, her voice carrying a note of optimism. "We need to get them back to the shelter immediately. They need warmth, food, and proper medical attention. Mark, his heart aching at the thought of parting with them, nodded in agreement. He knew that this was the best course of action, that the shelter offered the resources and expertise that he could not provide. The rescue team carefully loaded Luna and her pups onto a stretcher, their movements gentle and efficient. They wrapped them in warm blankets, their touch a comforting reassurance. They then carried them towards the helicopter, its blades already rotating, its promise of warmth and safety beckoning them towards a new chapter. Mark watched as they lifted off, the helicopter ascending into the vast expanse of the Alaskan sky, its red and white exterior a beacon of hope against the backdrop of snow-covered peaks. He felt a pang of sadness, a sense of loss as the canine family he had come to cherish disappeared from his sight. But he also felt a surge of gratitude, a sense of fulfillment knowing that he had played a part in their rescue, that he had offered them a chance at a life they deserved. He had witnessed the resilience of the animal spirit, the unwavering power of maternal love, and the unexpected bond that could form between a solitary human and a family of abandoned dogs. And as he stood there, the wind whipping at his face, the snow crunching beneath his boots, he knew that this experience, this encounter with Luna and her pups, would forever be etched in his memory, a testament to the enduring power of compassion and the unexpected connections that could be found in the heart of the wilderness. The warmth of the animal shelter enveloped Luna and her puppies like a comforting embrace. The sterile scent of disinfectant mingled with the comforting aroma of freshly laundered blankets and the gentle murmur of human voices. Luna, her senses overwhelmed by the sudden change in environment, cautiously surveyed her surroundings, her protective instincts still on high alert. The puppies, their whimpers now replaced by soft yelps of curiosity, explored their new home, their tiny paws patting across the soft blankets, their noses twitching at the unfamiliar scents. Mark, his heart warmed by their playful antics, watched them with a paternal fondness, his camera capturing their every move, his lens documenting their journey from the harsh wilderness to the safety of the shelter. Dr. Stevens, her gentle touch and reassuring voice a calming presence, examined Luna and her pups, her expert hands assessing their condition, her heart filled with a mix of concern and admiration for their resilience. She administered medication to boost their weakened immune systems, provided them with nutritious food to replenish their depleted bodies, and offered a warm, safe haven for their recovery. Mark, his work assignment in the Alaskan wilderness complete, found himself drawn to the shelter, his days now filled with visits to Luna and her pups. He would sit with them for hours, reading aloud from his favorite books, his voice a soothing balm in the quiet room. He would play with the puppies, their playful nips and joyful yelps filling the sterile environment with a vibrant energy. He watched as they grew stronger with each passing day, their fur regaining its luster, their eyes sparkling with a newfound vitality. He marveled at their unique personalities, their individual quirks and charms emerging as they explored their new surroundings. He realized that his connection to these dogs, forged in the crucible of survival, had deepened into a bond that transcended his initial role as a rescuer. He felt a sense of responsibility for their well-being, a paternal instinct to protect and nurture them, a desire to ensure their happiness and security. As the weeks turned into months, and the puppies blossomed into healthy, playful youngsters, the time came for them to find their forever homes. The shelter staff, their hearts filled with a mix of joy and sadness, prepared the pups for adoption, their efforts a testament to their dedication to finding loving families for each and every animal in their care. Mark, though his heart ached at the thought of parting with the puppies, knew that this was the best outcome for them. He watched as families arrived, their faces filled with excitement and anticipation, their hearts open to the unconditional love that these furry companions would bring into their lives. He witnessed the tearful goodbyes, the promises to provide loving homes, the joyful barks of the puppies as they embarked on their new adventures. And as the last of the pups was carried away, leaving a quiet emptiness in the shelter room, Mark turned his attention to Luna, her eyes filled with a mix of pride and sadness, her maternal duties fulfilled, her future uncertain. The shelter, once bustling with the playful energy of Luna's pups, now echoed with a quieter hum. Luna, her maternal duties fulfilled, lay curled in her kennel, her gaze distant, her thoughts a mix of pride and melancholy. Mark, his camera now capturing the poignant stillness of the moment, sat beside her, his presence a comforting anchor in the sea of change. He watched as families came and went, their faces beaming with the joy of newfound companionship, their arms cradling the furry bundles that had once been Luna's responsibility. He saw the tears of joy, the promises of love and care, the happy barks of the puppies as they embarked on their new adventures. And with each departure, he felt a pang of sadness, a sense of loss echoing Luna's own emotions. He had witnessed the transformation of these tiny creatures from helpless newborns to vibrant individuals, their personalities blossoming under his and the shelter staff's care. He had shared their journey from the brink of survival to the warmth of human companionship. And now, it was time to let them go, to spread their wings and fly. Luna, her motherly instincts still strong, watched her pups leave with a stoic acceptance. She had nurtured them, protected them, and prepared them for the world, and now it was time for them to fulfill their destinies, to bring joy and companionship to their new families. But as the last of her pups was carried away, leaving a quiet emptiness in the shelter room, a deep sadness settled over Luna. She curled tighter into a ball, her tail tucked between her legs, her whimpers a soft lament for the loss of her furry family. Mark, his heart aching for her sorrow, reached out a comforting hand, his touch gentle and reassuring. "It's okay, Luna," he whispered, his voice a soothing balm in the quiet room. "They'll be happy. They'll be loved." Luna, her understanding transcending language, nuzzled his hand, her eyes filled with a mix of gratitude and sadness. She had fulfilled her role as a mother, but now she faced an uncertain future, her own path unclear, her own heart yearning for a connection, a place to belong. Mark, sensing her unspoken plea, felt a surge of protectiveness, a desire to shield her from further hardship. He had witnessed her resilience, her unwavering devotion to her pups, her gentle spirit that had touched his heart. He couldn't bear the thought of her remaining in the shelter, her future uncertain, her spirit dimmed by the loss of her family. He made a decision that would forever alter the course of his life. He would adopt Luna, offering her a permanent home, a loving companion, a chance to share the journey that lay ahead. He informed the shelter staff of his decision, their faces lighting up with smiles of approval. They had witnessed the bond between Mark and Luna, the mutual affection that had blossomed in the shared space of the shelter. They knew that Luna had found her forever home, her human companion, her second chance at happiness. As Mark prepared to leave the shelter, Luna trotting by his side, her tail wagging with a newfound confidence, he felt a sense of fulfillment, a warmth spreading through his heart. He had come to Alaska seeking the wild beauty of nature, the elusive creatures that roamed its untamed landscapes. But he had found something far more profound, a connection that transcended the boundaries of species, a love that had blossomed in the face of adversity, a bond that would forever change his life. The journey back to Mark's home was a symphony of shared experiences, a tapestry woven with the threads of newfound companionship and the quiet joy of connection. Luna, her initial apprehension replaced by a sense of adventure, gazed out the window of Mark's Jeep, her eyes wide with curiosity as the Alaskan landscape unfolded before her. The towering mountains, their peaks dusted with snow, stood as silent guardians, their grandeur a testament to the raw power of nature. The vast forests, their trees a tapestry of green and gold, whispered secrets in the wind, their ancient wisdom a soothing balm to Luna's weary soul. The crystal-clear lakes, their surfaces shimmering like mirrors, reflected the ever-changing sky, their depths holding a mystery that mirrored the depths of Luna's own heart. Mark, his photographer's eye capturing the beauty of the landscape, glanced at Luna, his heart warmed by her presence. He had always cherished the solitude of his work, the freedom to roam the wilderness, his camera his only companion. But now, with Luna by his side, the world seemed to hold a new dimension, a richer tapestry of experiences, a deeper connection to the pulse of life. He spoke to her, his voice a gentle rumble in the confines of the Jeep, sharing his thoughts, his observations, his love for the land that had become his home. Luna, her understanding transcending language, listened intently, her head cocked, her ears perked, her eyes reflecting the changing landscape and the growing bond between them. They arrived at Mark's cabin, a rustic haven nestled amidst a grove of towering pines. The cabin, built by Mark's grandfather, exuded a warmth and character that mirrored its owner, its weathered wood and cozy interior a testament to a life lived in harmony with nature. Luna, her initial hesitation quickly fading, explored her new home with a cautious curiosity. She sniffed the worn rugs, the comfortable furniture, the lingering scent of wood smoke and Mark's presence. She discovered the fireplace, its hearth a promise of warmth and comfort, its crackling flames a mesmerizing dance of light and shadow. She followed Mark to the backyard, a sprawling expanse of meadows and forests, a playground for her newfound freedom. She chased squirrels with a playful abandon, her barks echoing through the trees, her tail wagging with a joy she had never known before. She rolled in the grass, her fur mingling with the scent of the earth, her spirit reveling in the simple pleasures of life. Mark, his camera capturing her every move, his heart swelling with affection, watched as Luna embraced her new life. He had offered her a home, a sanctuary, a place where she could heal from the wounds of her past, a place where she could simply be a dog, loved and cherished for who she was. Their days fell into a comfortable rhythm, a symphony of shared experiences and quiet companionship. They explored the surrounding wilderness together, their footsteps tracing hidden trails, their shared breaths mingling with the crisp mountain air. They sat by the fire in the evenings, the crackling flames casting a warm glow on their faces, their shared silence a testament to the deep connection they had forged. Luna, her loyalty and devotion unwavering, became Mark's constant companion, his shadow, his confidant. She filled his days with a joy he had never known before, her presence a reminder of the resilience of the spirit, the healing power of love, the enduring bond that could exist between a human and an animal. And as the seasons turned, painting the Alaskan landscape in a vibrant tapestry of colors, their bond deepened, their lives intertwined, their shared journey a testament to the enduring power of compassion and the transformative power of love.